Well, this is one of my favorite times of year. We have officially bought more cars for the diecast car collection. So we're gonna unbox every single one of them and we will show where they are going to fit on the shelf. So let's look at them. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and thank you for all of the support. I also plan on talking a little bit about our mission trip that we did in Colombia. So as I mentioned, we have 8 cars that we have purchased. So we're gonna unbox every single one of them and we will show where on the shelf they are likely going to fit. So here they all are right here, still in their boxes, and you can kind of get a hint at what some of them are. But let's go through one by one and we will make room on the shelf for where they are going to go. All right, so here is the first one we're going to be adding to the collection. This is a Lambo V12 Vision Gran Turismo. So I had to do a little bit of research on this one, and it was unveiled in 2019. So we have a spot on the shelf already ready for it. But fun fact about this car, this is a one of one in real life because it was only made for the game Gran Turismo. So I just happened to watch the Supercar Blondie channel and saw that actual car, and it does have some of the same effects as the real car. It has the 63, which represented 63 years of Lamborghini, and that was from the first year that the Lamborghini was made until 2019. So we're gonna take this off the platform and get it on the shelf. All right, so it is now off the platform, and just taking a look at some of the features of it. They have the engine bay being able to open up from the back, so that's pretty cool with the V12 in the back there. There are a lot of nice details in here that were mentioned when you see the real version of this car, the real version of the concept. So that's a pretty cool touch. It even has it written right here as far as the fuel that goes in. So they did put a lot of attention to detail in this car, and then the front of this opens up for you to be able to get into the single seat right in there. So very nice attention to detail as per usual here. Now, as far as the placement, I went and took a look at some of these other cars to see when they were made. I try to group these by model year and when they were made. So the Countach LPI 800 was made and introduced in 2021. These are definitely much older cars. So we're gonna take these and we're gonna position them in this direction here. And we're going to take the Urus and the Countach and we will turn it in that direction, and we will place this one right in the center right there. And so as far as year goes, those are all statistically correct. Interesting about this car is it is extremely low. So a lot of the newer cars that I took off the platforms, I put their screws underneath just in case they ever needed to be screwed back on. This one, literally, you're not going to be able to do that because of how low it actually sits. All right, and then next we have a 1965 Chevrolet Corvette. This one is also a really nice car, nice attention to detail. We got an antenna here. Doesn't look like the trunk opens from this angle here, but we do have opening doors and an opening hood. So we're gonna take this off the platform and see what that looks like. Okay, and here it is off of the platform and unscrewed. Very nice details inside the interior here, different color on the steering wheel, and then the engine bay as well. Nice attention to detail on the engine itself, the valve cover. And everything looks pretty good. So we are gonna show where this one is gonna be going next on the shelf. Thankfully, I have lots of different Corvettes, so we will be adding this one in chronological order here. And as far as placement, we have the 61 right here, and we have what I believe is either 80s or 90s. It's the C4 Corvette, so it's definitely going to be going in between those two right here. Now we have everything set in chronological order, so we have C4, C5, C6, 7, and 8, and then we have the newest one that we're adding to the collection right here. All right, so next on the list, we actually have 2 Mustangs. This is one of the 2, and this is the 1970 Ford Mustang Mach 1. Looks like a beautiful car before we even take it off the platform. Really nice details on the tires, and then you have the front with the license plate frame, and then in the rear, very, very nice looking car. So let's get this one off the platform and take a look at it in more detail. All right, now that we have this one off of the platform, we're taking a look at the engine bay. Also looks really nice. A little bit of writing right on the top of the engine there that you can see through the hood once it's closed. You can see on the interior, very nice attention to detail as well. It's very hard to see, but we do have the shifter, right in the center there, and then we have the detailing on the steering wheel as well as the dash. There's some other small things that they did to the interior of the car. And then we also have an opening trunk on this one. So really nice car overall. Now let's go and try to get it on the shelf. This one's going to be a little bit more challenging, and I'll show you why. We had to cram some of the GM cars together a little bit, and we took a shelf up on the top right here, and we've now dedicated that to Ford again. So Ford used to be just this area right here. Well, actually, of course not right here, but from here down, and now it's kind of going up into that area there. There may be some small changes that I'll decide to do later so that I can have Ford stay together, but for now this is how it's going to look. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the Mustangs and we're going to spread them out a little bit more so that we can have the classics towards the top. We're probably going to do 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom right here. Actually, we're going to end up with 7 Mustangs total, so we're going to have probably 3 on the bottom, or 4 on the bottom and 3 on the top. Since these 3 are similar body styles, I think we're going to do 4 right along the bottom right here. So we'll scoot that over and put that one right there. And then we basically have similar body style Mustangs, except for this one obviously right here in the end. And then we're going to take this Mustang Mach 3 concept and we're going to turn it in this direction here, and we will put the 1970 Mustang that we just took a look at, and that's going to go right here in the center. So obviously you now have a spoiler with what's probably going to be going right there. Now this next one is very near and dear to my heart. I used to have one of these when I was a kid, and I absolutely loved the car. Of course I'm referring to the model, not the actual car itself, but I have always wanted to own one again, and I finally got an opportunity to get one. This is a 1967 Ford Mustang GTA, and it is a beautiful car. And again, really great attention to detail in this car. The engine bay opens up, and there are some colored accents inside the engine bay. The door also opens with a lot of detail on the interior as well, and the trunk also opens on this car. So love this version of the Mustang. If I ever had an opportunity to own one myself, like in real life, I definitely would jump at this one. So we're gonna go ahead and add that one into its spot where it belongs. So we now have the 1967 Mustang, the 1970, the Mustang Mach 3, and then we have the 35th anniversary. We have the 99 Mustang GT, we have the 2003 Cobra, and then we have the 2015 Mustang GT. So that concludes the Mustang collection, at least for now. Okay, and next I took the liberty of unboxing this one as well. This is the 2014 Jeep Wrangler, and it is also very well done as far as the engine. A lot of nice attention to detail. You have a lot of detail with the gauge cluster. You even have some chrome accents around the vents. And then this one does have an opening rear tailgate. Only the bottom part opens, which is perfectly fine. But overall, another well put together Jeep. And we do have some room up on the top shelf here. We're gonna have to turn some of these so that they can accommodate a 5th car. But we will turn all of the Jeeps to face the same direction. And we have an older Wrangler here. This is the Wrangler Sahara, that we're gonna put this one right next to it. All right, we had to close the hood there, and there you go. One thing I will say about these Wranglers is the hood straps that they make for these cars are very difficult to relatch once you put them on. So I don't prefer opening the hood if I don't have to, but there you go. We got all our Jeeps together on a shelf. If I end up buying another Jeep someday, which I likely will, we're gonna have to find a way to expand it a little bit more and go across some more shelves. But given the fact that I have so little Chrysler products, I think we don't have an issue with that. Okay, and next we have opened the Lamborghini Sian, which is a beautiful car. Again, nice attention to detail. The bonnet opens in the front. We also have the Lambo doors, and we have the engine in the back with the nice attention to detail. Something funny that I found was on the platform itself, before you remove the car, it even tells you that the doors open straight up. Apparently, a lot of people don't know that this car is capable of doing that. So I just thought that was really interesting. Because I know I've owned a lot of model car Lamborghinis in the past, and they've never had to put anything like that on there. So I know that we were already making some room on the Lambo shelf for the other car. We're gonna have to shift some stuff around in order to add this one, because this one was made starting in 2020, so we will be shifting a couple cars around in order to make this one fit. Okay, so we have moved the Urus up to the top because I really want to try to keep the two Mercies together and keep the two Gallardos together. So we're gonna take the open space right here, we move the Countach over, and we're gonna put the Scion right here in between the other purchase that we just made, that Gran Turismo and the Countach. All right, so next up we have another American classic. This is the 1971 Chevrolet Camaro. This has all of the same features that the other cars have. We have an opening trunk, we have opening doors, so nice attention to detail inside of the car in the interior. And then we have an opening hood with colored valve covers and a nice looking carburetor on the top. So overall, again, very nice attention to detail, really nice car, and we're gonna be adding it to the Camaros. So we already have the 68, and then we have the newer generation Camaros right here. So we're gonna take it and we're gonna roll it right in here. So we got the 71 going between the 1968 and the newer modern day. And there we go, we're starting to add more to the Camaro collection. And last but not least, we have our Bugatti Bolide, and it is another really nice looking car. I will say, in the history of buying Bugatti model cars, they really don't do much. They do not have opening bonnets, they do not have opening hoods, so all they typically have is just opening doors, and that's basically it. So you have opportunity to sort of look at the outside of it, and then what little bit of the interior you can see is right there, and there is some attention to detail there. You can see some of the, if the camera will focus, you can see the steering wheel is accented a little bit differently. It obviously matches the car a little more, and then you have the blue accents on the interior. And then the outer part, the paint, is done pretty well. So as far as placement, this will go right next to the Devo. And so it's gonna go right in the center right here. And we will just slide that one in, and there you go. We have all of the French vehicles right on this shelf here. And that basically concludes it. So we added a total of 8 cars. We added 2 right down there. We added 1 right there. We added 2 more right there. We added 1 right there, 1 right there, and 1 right there. That brings us to a total of 8, for a grand total of 143 cars on this shelf and growing. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is something that I haven't talked about on this channel before, but it was a lot of the reason why I have been absent from social media over these last few weeks. So we did a mission trip with our church, and I will admit it was a little bit scary at first. As far as when I first initially signed up, I was a little worried about where I was going to go, what things were going to be like, and over time my faith grew in what we were doing, and I felt a lot more comfortable knowing that I had done my part in terms of knowing who has done this trip before, knowing that we have a missionary there that is very experienced and knows the area well. Obviously, there is still risk involved, but that is something that I was willing to take when I did this trip. Now, you may find yourself wondering, should I do this mission trip that I had been thinking about for a while? I would definitely encourage you to do your research and make sure that what you are about to do is an area that isn't going to be life-threatening for you or risky. We didn't have that situation at all in our area. Obviously, there are some crime-ridden areas, but you are going to deal with that even here at home in the United States if you're watching this in the US. And my hope that you get out of this is, if you have been thinking about doing this and you haven't really pulled the trigger, if you've done your research, if you know that this mission trip is the one that you've wanted to go on, but you just haven't taken that step to do it, I'm encouraging you, just go for it. There are going to be worries, there are going to be anxieties, there are going to be things that you're going to be thinking about, but at the end of the day, if you're doing this for a good cause and you've done what you've needed to do in order to look into the organization that you're getting involved in, you're looking into the area that you're participating in, maybe you've been with people that have done this trip before, which was the case with me, then I'd say definitely go for it. And if you're wondering more about the mission trip that I did, I will leave a link to it in the description below. You can look into their organization a little bit more, and it's definitely an experience that I will not soon forget, and I will probably do again. Now that is gonna do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, please give it a big thumbs up, and please consider subscribing if you are enjoying seeing the evolution of the business, the die-cast metal cars as we add more to it. There will likely be more added over the course of this year. So keep an eye out for those videos that are going to be coming out soon. If you need to rent a car in Jacksonville, don't forget to visit AchooRentals.com. We have everything from small compact cars to nice sized minivans. Hope you have a great day, everybody.